There's one kid in Dragon Ball who was born to be unstoppable. A Super Saiyan before he could even tie his shoes. A boy who had everything: genetics, potential, training, and even Goku's smile. And yet, somehow, he became one of the biggest missed opportunities in the franchise. Goten, the failed prodigy. Goten was born after the Cell Games, meaning he never met his father because Goku was, well, too busy being dead training in the afterlife with Kenkai, eating imaginary food, and casually forgetting he'd even made Chi-Chi pregnant. When Goku finally remembered and came back for the martial art tournament 7 years later, he was shocked to find a tiny copy of himself waiting. Same eyes, same hair, same DNA. Training forever had taken matters into her own hand. She trained Goten herself, and somehow this little kid managed to become a Super Saiyan before he even lost his baby teeth. No trauma, no rage, no near-death transformations. He just did it, like flipping a light switch between two math lessons. Even Gohan, the golden boy who fought Cell and carried the fate of the planet, had to go through nightmares to reach that level. But Goten? He went gold because it looked fun. That alone made him one of the most terrifying prodigies in Dragon Ball history. Even Goku admitted that Goten's potential could one day surpass both him and Gohan's. Think about that, a 7 years old with the raw energy to eclipse legends, the perfect mix of Saiyan instinct and human compassion. But powers means nothing without a reason to use it. Unlike his father and brother, Goten never had a reason. There was no wars left to fight, no tyrants to stop, no worlds to save, no subscribe button to press. He was born into peace, and peace for a Saiyan is the slowest poison. The fire that forged Goku and Gohan simply didn't exist for him. That's where Trunks comes in, the only other kid crazy enough to match him. Together, they were chaos, wrapped in golden hair. The two youngest Super Saiyans in history, turning doomsday battles into playground games and the apocalypse into a comedy sketch. Their fusion, gotenks, could literally shatter dimensions. Yet they treated saving the world like a contest over who got more praise from Bulma. They were meant to be the next Goku and Vegeta, but instead, they became the comic duo of the Buu saga. And after that, silence. When Dragon Ball Super begins, Goten has grown taller but somehow smaller. His power stagnated, his presence faded, his personality flattened into the background noise of a world that no longer needs warrior. No training arcs, no serious battles, not even a defining moment, just cameos and gag. It's tragic when you realize that in pure potential, Goten might have surpassed everyone. He never had the hunger. He didn't crave battles. He craved peace. He didn't want to conquer a world. He wanted to live in one. He's not a failure because he's weak. He's a failure because this universe moved on before he even got a chance to matter. Goten is the embodiment of what happens when the next generation inherits power but not purpose. He's the proof that sometimes being born strong is the worst thing that can happen to you. And while Toriyama may never gave him his redemption, he can't help but imagine it. A grown Goten trained by Whis, carrying his father's heart, Vegeta's discipline, and his own innocence, a man who finally understands what it means to have been born a prodigy in a world that no longer needs heroes. Until that day comes though, we'll just have to settle for gotenks, making fart jokes in another movie. Goten's biggest fight was never against Majin Buu or Beerus, it was against the weight of his own name. Every glance reminded him of who his father was. Every word compared him to his brother, and every victory felt like someone else's reflection. He didn't ask to be a prodigy, he was born one, sculpted by the legacy of a family that saved the universe more times than anyone could count. But what happens when you inherit greatness in a world that no longer needs heroes? That's the question Goten has been quietly answering his entire life. He's not lazy, he's lost. A warrior built for an era that no longer exists. His father lived to fight, his brother fought to protect, but Goten, he was born into peace. A peace so loud he drowned his purpose. Imagine growing up in a home where every story around the dinner table ends with someone defeating a god while you're just trying to finish your homework. Deep down, he doesn't resent it, he admires it, but he knows he'll never match it. The fire that defined Saiyans was replaced with comfort, and comfort turned his battle spirits into still water. That's why he doesn't chase power the way his father or Vegeta do, because he never learned what it means to lose something worth fighting for. His tragedy isn't that he failed, it's that he never had to try. And yet, that's what makes him special. He's the proof that after all the wars, after all the blood and pain, a sane child could finally grow up without hatred, without fear. Goten's story is quiet, but it's sacred. He's the piece Goku spent his entire life fighting to create. And maybe that's why we barely see him anymore. Because his existence itself is the happy ending everyone else was fighting for. If you made it this far, you deserve a breather. So let's drop the emotion and hit you with some fun facts you probably didn't know about Goten. First off, Toriyama once admitted in an interview that he designed Goten to look exactly like young Goku because he wanted to bring back that nostalgic feeling. Translation: he missed drawing the old Goku, so he cloned him. Fact number 2. During the early draft of the Buu saga, Toriyama actually planned for Goten and Trunks to have their own mini arc after Buu's defeat, something closer to the next generation Z Fighter story like, but he scrapped it because he felt he'd already told the father and son theme enough times. Yeah, thanks Toriyama. In Dragon Ball Super Superhero, Goten finally gets taller, and yes, that's canon, not a fan art. He even gets a new outfit designed by Toriyama himself, who said he wanted him to look more modern but keep that cheerful innocence. Translation: puberty hit and Toei gave him drip. Fact number 4. Goten's name followed the same vegetable pun tradition. Goten means palace in Japanese, but Toriyama joked once that it sounded like Goten, as in 5 and heaven, symbolizing him being the 5th member of Goku's bloodline to reach divine potential. Whether that's deep or it's just fake and he made it up on the spot, I guess we will never know. Thanks for watching. If you're here up to this point, comment who do you think I should talk about in the next video. If you can like and subscribe to help the channel grow, it would mean a lot. If you'd like to debate on what I said or disagree with any information, you can join the family on Discord. We chat and talk a lot about anime in general. I also started using X. I'll leave everything in the description for you to find. You can also check the video I made on the childhood of Goku. Goten might resemble Kid Goku, but the childhood of both is like comparing heaven and hell. You can check the video I made on his childhood. I'm done. Peace out.